Love.
Listen.
Hey.
I did
You
it. Taylor.
Happy birthday, everybody. Clambos, it's episode 55 of Look, Listen, Cast with Geese and Guyera, a Pokemon podcast about Pokemon and other things.
And other thing. Oh, darn it. I wanted to say it.
You can say it next time. And this week we're going to discuss Horizons episode 12, which, Clambos, I've never... Oh, hey, Geese and Taylor's here. Say hello, Geese.
Hi.
Hello.
Taylor is baking, and he inhaled a bunch of flour, and we're just gonna all have to deal with it. Okay.
I'm gonna give you Taylor's tip of the week a little bit early this week. If you are baking jalapeno cheddar bread, and you are cutting,
can you say it any slower, girls? Can you say it any slower? Can we make it to 5 minutes? Jalapeno bread.
I can try. If you're baking jalapeno cheddar bread and you have to put on lotion, make sure you wash your hands real thoroughly, or else the rest of your face is going to be completely on fire all day.
Taylor, whenever you're dealing with jalapenos, that's the first thing that they tell you.
I rinsed them off and I thought that was enough, but I forgot that you have to de-seed it for the recipe.
Anyway, at the top, welcome to Pokemon. Never in my days have I had such a turnaround on an episode. I gotta say it at the top of the show. Beginning of this episode, I thought, wow, what a dumb episode. I could write this myself. In fact, I have written this myself. Exactly this kind of thing. It's terrible. You cut 10 minutes in, 12 minutes in. We're now at my maybe favorite episode of the series. This is what I'm looking for. We're talking mysteries, Clambos. We're talking new pokes. We're talking ancient adventure. We're talking reveals and twists and turns. And you'll find out about all that soon enough.
I had the exact same experience.
Geese, I figured out how to do the chapter thing on YouTube. So now they can just jump to Pokemon. And if somebody cares about Taylor's jalapeno seed face with the stinging, they can listen to the first part.
Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Wear gloves. Dude, put your lotion on before you bake your bread. Whatever you got to do.
I don't want lotion bread. Sounds so gross.
Yeah, but you can wash your hands.
You can wash your hands. Speaking of eating, I suppose we were talking about washing hands, but speaking of food, adjacently, I had some very tasty shrimp wontons and beef roll from, Taylor, you've probably eaten here, right? Pine and Crane, Taiwanese food.
Where is that?
They have a few locations. There's one in Silver Lake, one in downtown.
I feel like I have. I've certainly heard of it. Was it any good?
Oh, it's very, very tasty, yeah. The funny thing is, so if you live here, you don't need exact information. You can just glean things. If you're watching a podcast of people in Los Angeles, or somebody makes a little tweet about somewhere in Los Angeles and they're vague about it, you go, oh yeah, that's New Beverly. Oh yeah, that's Pine and Crane. So I saw somebody on a podcast eat it and I immediately went to eat it and it was so good. Clambos, one other food thing, and then we're going to be moving along. My favorite Thai food place that I used to walk to at least once every other week for a while, a lot more often than that. But it was so close to me. I walked there so often. They moved, and I can never eat it again. And I was devastated.
Is this the one that put mushrooms in something?
Yes, but now I said no mushrooms, and we're fine.
Out of nowhere, they put mushrooms and stuff that it had no business having mushrooms.
Anyway, it's a good end to the story. Uber Eats sent me an email or sent me a push notification and said, hey, listen, we're sorry that you don't use our service. What if we gave you 70% off? And I said, 70% off? I'd love to. And so I ordered some delivery because that's about the only way I can eating this off. And I had some mango sticky rice, and the pad thai was super delicious. And what a wonderful experience that was, Clambos.
We should take a group trip to Thailand and have a bunch of pad thai, because Thai food in Thailand, something else.
Thai food in Thailand.
Let's open up the old, what have I been watching? Silo. That's what I've been watching. Rebecca Ferguson. I'm a massive Rebecca Ferguson fan. I think she's wonderful. in a very good, if you like realistically portrayed women as much as I do in cinema, watch this show because she is great. She is not a caricature and she's very believable.
I only like two-dimensional women, so.
Well, unfortunately for you, that is not your show.
Okay.
All right.
It's good. It's fun. Like, I liked it.
Is it on Apple?
It is.
Okay.
Did you say what this show is, or just it has a woman in it?
Silo.
No, I mean...
Silo. It's
okay,
called Silo.
sick. Watch Silo. There's a woman in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a sci-fi, sort of a sci-fi thriller, alternate future type thing. It's not too heavy. It's not like a cyberpunk or a steampunk thing. It's basically like a bunker show. You know, people in a bunker type.
Like, so it's Fallout, but for women, like a lifetime, lifetime original series.
Well, it's not like a new idea from just like what the show is, but its execution is, I would say, very good. The writing's pretty good.
Sick.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay, Taylor, can you talk about Final Fantasy 16 without spoiling it?
Huge spoilers. The side quests don't get any better. You want them to.
Hey,
you think they're going to.
That's not true. I had a string of side quests that I thought the story beats are great here. Very emotional. Finally, a good side quest. Reading little letters and things.
I wonder if you're farther along than I am.
Really? How is that possible? I'm 60. You can look at your PS5. It says your percentage. And mine says 65% or 61%.
I mean, I couldn't play it for 3 weeks. So I played as much as I could, and then I lent the game to somebody who just didn't give me the game when I came back. And the whole time I was in Turkey, in Istanbul specifically, I was like, the trees look just like they do in Final Fantasy 16. And I was like a running joke for me because I found it very funny because Guncan hates video games.
I gotta say, Clambos, you can't see because it's only audio. Right now, Geese's camera only on her Grimace hat. So it just looks like we're talking to Grimace. Just Grimace is sitting there podcasting away. Very good. Very good stuff.
But yes, I will just tell you that I am not a fan of the side quests. I really, really tune out during a lot. Main story and gameplay, still fantastic.
I feel bad because there are people out there skipping the side quests. Mm-hmm. But I've learned that if you do every side quest, there are very huge benefits to that in both story and you go to the little area in the hideaway where you're rewarded for doing side quests. Not just the rewards you get after completing it, but you talk to the guy and people give you donations for completing the side quests. Geese, this week for video games, it's just Pokemon for me. I mean, Final Fantasy as well, but we already talked about that.
I yesterday woke up and I checked my Pokemon sleep and there was a war turtle and I wanted to befriend him, so I gave him a bonus biscuit, which wasn't enough, and then I gave him a great biscuit, but apparently the great biscuits or a master biscuit, or I don't know, the regular Pokeball biscuit, but it wasn't enough, and so I just wasted my biscuits on it. Oh my god, Taylor has a Mufasson shirt?
Is that Mofsant?
Yes!
He's got a lot of cat shirts. He's going to put in his earbuds one day. You can ask him yourself. I've never seen a man take longer to put in an earbud.
Taylor!
Yes!
Taylor, where'd you get that shirt?
I had it made.
It's Mufasson.
That one?
That's Mufasson. Yes.
Wait, the real Mufasson?
No, Mofsand.
Nobody knows what that is.
He's not a cow.
We get one of the side businesses we have is importing bags with custom art done by students at an art university in Istanbul. And I had them make me a bunch of shirts.
Where'd you get that image?
I mean, one of the kids made it.
One of the kids did not create Mofsand.
That's a Japanese beloved character.
Oh, yeah. I have a few in that style where they just draw that cat doing different things.
That cat. Oh, that cat. Wait, Geese, you were saying... Oh, yeah, don't waste your biscuits, Geese. You can buy biscuits with your little currency you have, your little diamonds or your sleep gems or whatever. So stock up on some biscuits so it doesn't happen again.
I sleep with my phone in not airplane mode, but I disconnect it from the internet so I don't get any kind of notifications. So I can't use Pokemon Sleep.
Well, just keep it on Do Not Disturb then. Easy.
Yeah.
I
Give it
just
a go.
don't like. Oh, there's so many things that break through Do Not Disturb. So many.
Oh, you have Taylor's had dumb phones his whole life.
It's true. Except HTC. HTC phones are fantastic.
Your
What dumb
HTC
phone
device.
do you have now?
A Galaxy S10 Plus. Why am I so many generations behind, you might ask? Do you have a free upgrade? Yes, is the answer to the second one. Answer the first one, because Samsung stopped making phones that have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack and expandable storage. What phone does have those things? The new Sony phone. What is one of the problems with Sony phones? They stopped supporting them after like 2 years.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need some Bluetooth earbuds. And then in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, I caught another Spearow, and now I got 2 shiny Spearows and Clambos. Oh man, I am working my way through that shiny living dex.
Apple's business plan where they're like, ooh, you can buy an extra 30 gigabytes for $300. And it's like, well, I mean, I can't do anything about it.
I have a Pixel phone, and I think if you get a Pixel phone, you get unlimited original quality storage for Google Photos, which really frees up space on the phone.
Before anybody turns off the podcast, I have an iPhone, and it is a good ecosystem, so don't leave just yet.
The only problem I have with that is I'm on dive boats a lot, and I transfer dive videos and pictures to my phone, and a lot of those places don't have internet access. So I need expandable storage so I can store them on my phone.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I beat the new Terra Raid of the normal type Rillaboom, as you'll recall from us announcing in Poke News of the Week. I'm sure. Probably. It's so interesting now that we're in the era of home connectivity to Scarlet and Violet, because before, lots of YouTubers would create guides on how to create the perfect Pokemon for these 7-star raids, and it would have to be a Pokemon you can find in that game. But now, fewer people put those out because it's sort of less interesting now, because now it's, okay, let me look back in my decades of catching Pokemon. What's my strongest Pokemon out of these 1,100 that's going to be the best, and then you just grab that one and go to town.
What is your strongest Pokemon?
That's a tough question
Baidu.
to answer. I mean, stats wise, isn't it an Arceus or a Mew, right? I think. But it's still fun building up a Pokemon. So I built up a Corviknight, changed his Terra type to fighting, got all his stats correct, had a picnic with him with a Moltres so he could egg move, learn Roost, so he could heal in the raid. Very fun, very sick. So much fun. They actually made competitive stuff fun. It's crazy.
I love video games, and I love video game adjacent sentences, because saying I raised a Corviknight and had him take a picnic with a Moltres so he could egg learn a move is such a fun video game sentence.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the past, decades ago, Clambos, you know this, if you wanted an egg move, if you wanted a Pokemon with good stats and an egg move, you can't have a job. That's going to be dozens of hours of you breeding out a perfect Pokemon. Nowadays, the quality of life improvements are through the roof.
What's an egg move?
So an egg move traditionally is a move that a Pokemon does not learn by level up or TM. It can only be learned if it was hatched, and one of their parents, I think their father specifically, had that move. So that was the only way that Pokemon could ever learn an egg move. But now they made it way easier, where you can just take a Pokemon that already knows that move, put it in a picnic with the Pokemon you want to learn the move, give the Pokemon you want to learn the move a mirror herb, and then he just sits there with an empty move slot and he'll learn the move when you're in a picnic. Very sick. Geese, I can't see you, I just see Grimace, but it is time for you to talk about Barbie, even though we talked about that before. Pokemon Sleep.
No, I watched it again.
Oh.
So I watched it with my mom and my sisters at the AMC. And the projection wasn't as good as the first time I saw it.
No.
The screen was all wrinkly, so you could see. Yeah. And then there was a group I'd say about 10 tween boys who were very disrespectful and were just clapping at very inappropriate times and hooting and hollering.
Hooting
So,
and hollering.
not yeah, it wasn't a pleasant viewing experience as it was the first time around, but movie was still funny. Also, the crowd wasn't as good. When I first saw it, people were laughing out loud. We were sharing a communal experience. I didn't get that the second time.
Tween boys.
Do you want to talk about Costco stuffed peppers?
Tell us about that, Geese.
Well, I did have Costco stuffed peppers, which are good.
Yum yum yum? Question mark? Call?
Yum yum yum. Yes.
Are, is it the prepared ones that you have to reheat?
Prepared, but they're raw. You just have to put them in the oven.
Oh, so they're prepared ones that you have to reheat.
Taylor, with the
The
attitude.
meat is raw.
Oh, it's totally uncooked.
Yes.
No.
They're
Interesting.
assembled.
Interesting.
You have to bake it for an hour.
Now, hold on. Before I say anything, I am not the world's leading expert.
Top 5.
I don't think you put raw meat in a jalapeno.
It's not a jalapeno. It's a bell pepper.
Oh, that changes everything.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can raw that one.
Raw meat?
I feel like you would have to sell that the same day, right?
Basically, it's
You're
don't know
gambling.
what
You're putting
you're-
a lot on the line. Is the pepper worth it?
you have to use a thermometer to make sure the beef is fully cooked.
Why not just Do you really use a thermometer?
Yes.
I can't believe that. Why not do something that requires less effort?
I mean, the only effort it takes is putting it in the oven.
And
then when
the
you take it out,
thermometer.
Yes, that's not that much effort.
It's more effort than I want to put into for prepared
You're literally
food.
making a bread and you have 2 timers to check on it today. Don't give me this.
I have a 1 timer, first of all. But it's simple, and it's not like I'm making bread. It's not like I'm doing something that is marketed as something simple.
I don't understand how this is more complicated. It's not in a freezer. You don't get it from the freezer aisle.
Okay, so the raw meat in the peppers is not stored in a freezer either. Wow.
No, it's in like the little where you get ground beef.
So would you
hold on.
You would describe this as a dangerous dish.
Did you buy separately raw meat and a pepper? And you're saying that it's a Pop-Tart package?
Geese, tell me what your life insurance policy is like.
I don't know much about food preparation. All I know is that sounds weird. Raw meat.
I feel like it seems unnecessary to put a meat thermometer in there. You know, fun fact, bacteria that's really harmful can't grow on the inside of beef that hasn't been ground, which is why you can eat a steak raw, but you can eat a steak just cooking the outside, but you can't do that with ground beef.
Taylor's second tip of the week, honestly.
Yep.
Talk about your pizza.
Boy. There's a pizza place that's based out of Austin that's really near me called Home Slice, and it is very overpriced, and it is trying real hard to be cool. And I don't like how everything in Austin seems like it's trying so hard to be cool.
Wait, you're in Austin?
No, but the pizza chain is based in Austin. So I assume there's some degree of uniformity throughout the branches that are in like different cities. It's good. I'll give them that. It's good pepperoni. Doesn't taste porky. A lot of like good spices to it and everything. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing other than the bread. Oh, I baked more cheesecake. I can now do it without a recipe.
I'm going to get hungry listening to all this. Maybe we ought to move on to Poka News of the Week. Clambos, this is a rare one because we don't have a full confirmation, but Nintendo Life and several other websites have reported.
Pokemon is going digital.
What would that even mean?
I don't know.
But we got some people looking into some code, and it looks like there may just be a Pokemon Presents on August 8th, 2023. AKA Taylor's birthday he wish he had, because his mother would not. Taylor wanted more than anything. His dream as a baby was to be born on 8/8/88 Instead, his mother said, "Not gonna happen, champ," and ruined his perfect birthday streak.
She even said that. The doctors quoted her.
Yep.
So is your birthday the 9th?
Nope, 7th.
Oh, okay.
If it were up to me, she would have been, and if my birthday was the 9th, I would have forced it out.
Yeah.
I would have been hooting and hollering, I'll tell you that.
No man of woman born. They would have ripped him right out.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Doctor would have said, "Sorry, Mrs. Mother, you are having the child now." Yeah, would have been sick.
So hopefully we're going to get that. Hopefully we're going to get some firm release dates on the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Maybe we'll learn some more about Baby Turtle that we're going to find out in this episode. Also, Poliwags are tomorrow, but by the time you hear this, you missed it. Sorry, Clambos. Shiny Poliwags. Community Day. Pokemon Go.
So, okay, just humor me. You bake these peppers for an hour?
Yeah.
And you test the temperature on each of them?
Yeah, before I eat them, yeah.
Do you normally I don't even own a food thermometer, and I'm cooking 1 to 2 meals per day.
They're not that expensive.
It seems like a hassle.
All right, let's move on to Pokemon. Geese, can you please tell us the name of this week's episode in English?
The title of the episode is The Future I Choose.
Or in Japanese, Watashi ga Erabu Mirai. And of course, Mirai means future, just like Miraidon. And Korai means the past, like Koraidon. Scarlet and Violet.
How about that?
Clambos, this is a direct continuation of last week's episode, so we are it opens the set. I hope you watched listen to last week's episode, because that's the information you need to know now. Arboliva's crying over the forest, and we got Molly explaining that there's going to be more injured pokes with all these terrible barren fields here. Oh, God, what are we going to do? Geese, what is Liko's great idea? What is she going to do?
She's going to replant the forest.
That's right, plant an entire forest. Intro song! Oh my God, what an undertaking. Or is it? We're going to find out.
Who's to say?
All right, everybody, let's split up. If we work together and Geese, what's the verb I'm looking for? It's not compartmentalize. It's a verb that means to, we'll go with delegate. If we delegate, we're going to get this forest back in no time. Sprigatito, grab those berries. And Sprigatito's adorable. Geese?
Yeah.
I don't know why we have cameras on, because it's just the top of Grimace's eyeball I see. And then Sprigatito grabs every single berry. We're talking Petchas, Leppas, you name it. Every berry in the game is in a giant pile that they've collected, because that's going to 100% make a forest come back. Molly, what's she still trying to do, Geese? She's on her Rotom phone.
She's trying to contact Frito and the team so they can help out with the forest.
There's still no gosh darn reception, but Geese, Rotom does such a cute face. It goes all droopy when there's no reception.
Even Dot is having trouble. She can't upload her video.
Yeah, because something is stopping the signal. What could it be? Roy, till the soil with Fuecoco. And turns out Fuecoco is very good at it, because why, Geese?
Because he's got temper tantrum. What is it called?
Stomping tantrum.
Stomping tantrum.
Then we get a montage of all the work that's being done. Arboliva is very pleased with the results. Oh no, Clambos, they need rain, but it's not the rainy season. What are we gonna do? Like Geese said, we cut to a Neato stream video. Well, it's a VOD. Dot is editing her video about abilities, which is gonna come up later. And then when she tries to upload it, she realizes that there is no signal here.
Do you think they have like really fast Wi-Fi on that blimp?
Well, if you had asked me prior to Magneton ruining anything, I would say that absolutely everywhere has great Wi-Fi, just, terabytes of upload speed, because she was Dot was pretty shocked that she couldn't upload super fast. Taylor, we cut to Murdoch, and he's worried sick because he can't get through, but at least Oreo's here to reassure everyone.
Good old, wow, what do I keep calling her? I keep calling her Rosie, huh?
Yeah, you do. The Riveter.
Yeah.
Now Dot messages the group and says, guys, there is no signal over here. We're in trouble. And Geese. As soon as Fritos learns that there's no signal and that's why they can't get through, what does he do?
He's on the move looking for the disturbance.
He's like, let's go, Charizard. And also Captain Pikachu.
I like how this show still won't establish the relationship between Fritos and Captain Pikachu.
Pikachu's the captain. We respect his decisions.
We kind of actually do learn the relationship a little bit later in the episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But yes, Fritos is very worried. He flies out of there so fast, and they spot the Magneton. There is a Magneton above the forest causing all this trouble. Stopping the signal, and Captain Pikachu takes care of him with an electric shock.
Poor Magneton. I used to love that Pokemon card so much. It was so sick.
The base set? Or no, it's Fossil. Yeah, it's a good card.
Yeah.
Finally, the second Captain Pikachu stops Magneton, the calls go through. And Molly gets through to Frito and says, Frito, we need a bunch of water immediately. And Frito says, I'm on it. After an initial bout of a little bit of confusion between Captain Pikachu and Frito, but they understand. Oh, hey, they show up to the dead forest, and Metagross and Oreos are here? Oh, we got the whole crew. Oh, my God.
Jog my memory real quick. What was the cause of the dead forest?
A forest fire from lightning strike.
Okay. So it was something that did occur naturally.
So as far as we know, yes.
Who's to say?
I'm
kinda- Uh-oh. Oh, my God, Taylor, you saying it was the Magneton? We got Ludlow. First time off the ship? Question mark? Is this the case?
Yeah, I really liked that there was a lot of different characters in this episode.
I can't recall ever seeing Ludlow off the ship myself.
We're talking about Oldman?
Yeah, Oldman.
Right? Okay.
And he says, go, Quagsire. Quagsire in a little dive ball, which is sick. Clambos, you believe me now when I tell you, I saw this one coming from a mile away. As soon as they said, oh, if only it was rainy season in Paldea, I said, let's just have a Pokemon use Rain Dance. And what does Quagsire do, Geese?
He's dancing.
He uses Rain Dance. And Liko pulls out a Pokedex for Quagsire. Pokedex, very funny, says, he's just an easygoing dude. Made me laugh. Wow.
He's a friend.
Wow, Clambos. Even Molly has never seen this particular Quagsire. Everybody said, I didn't even know he had that Pokemon. And then Clambos. Geese. Now that there's been a little bit of rain and the soil has been a little bit tilled, what does that mean for Arboliva and her magic forest magic ability, which, of course, in English is called Seed Sower?
She sprays some green sparkles everywhere, and the forest grows back.
Oh my God, there's a million trees. That was so quick, Clambos. There's an immediate influx of Pokemon into the forest. We got Rookies and Lechonks and Jumpluff. Because I'm giving them all the same cadence. Jumpluffs. That's funny for anybody that knows Jumpluff. Nobody says Jumpluff like a Frenchman or something. Skiddos, Venomoths, Steenies. Geese, your girl Steenie.
I know. I was so excited when I saw her.
Uh-oh, Clambos. Goofy-haired Arboliva takes in a big sniff. And then, Geese, what happens to Liko's pendant?
It starts to glow.
It starts to grow. Oh my God, it's the new little baby turtle Pokemon. I didn't know that the pendant was the Pokemon. Oh my God. And now we come to the point, Clambos, where the episode is now saved. Before, terrible, boring. Now, incredible, wonderful. Okay, a lot happens. Maybe it's a little bit confusing. Basically, what we're looking at is the baby turtle legendary makes... the pendant turns into the turtle. Giant Arboliva makes a giant orb, gives it to Turtle. Arboliva kind of looks like she shrinks a little bit. Now Liko and Roy are in a bubble force field glowing My question is, are they transported somewhere, or is this just a Lapidust vision where they're just
I
seeing
think it's a
things?
vision. I think it's a vision.
And it looks like there's a sandstorm, Clambos. Who is that in the distance? We can't see. It's just a shadow. Is it Amaranth? Is it the ancient hero? Is it Ash? Who's to say? And he repeats the words, Clambos. I want you to find ellipses, the world's ellipses. It sounds like I'm just making this up. And then Clambos, the turtle goes back in its shell and turns back into the pendant. Who is it? Is it an ancestor? Oh boy, here we go. Our believer's ancient Pokeball starts a glowing. Oh man. Oh gee. Okay. Actually, I take it all back. You know how a second ago I said that now the episode's getting good? And earlier I said I could have wrote this? My notes betray me and say this is terrible. And this is just wild nonsense writing. And Clambos, back when they started releasing those Poketoons on YouTube, they were so good. Just simple little anime stories, simple stories of kids having a little adventure with Pokemon, and the writing was so good. That's what we need to go back to.
I'm just reeling from the revelation that you actually did not like this.
I like stuff that happens later. I like the book.
Yeah, I like this stuff much later, but I think this is interesting. So yeah, big olive person captures itself in the ancient monster ball, ancient Pokeball, and the team is just like, I guess she wants you guys to take care of her.
Back to the ship, everybody. The Pokemon seem happy, though. All those forest pokes, they don't seem surprised at all by these developments.
So how do they determine who gets the Oliva?
Arboliva.
Co-sponsoring.
Co-owners?
They don't own the poke. They're just it's gonna be like all the Pokemon running around on the ship. They're just friends now.
Okay.
But Taylor, what do we cut to after this scene? And we see a million cameras and a
Finally a villain.
mystery green hair man.
Thank God. It's been such a long time without any villain. It's just been doing side quests a bunch. I really hope that because the pendant changed because of Arboliva, right? Like it changed its shape.
So
It's happened before.
yeah, and
Really?
like the first episode ends with the pendant turning into baby turtle to protect Liko.
I don't mean like temporarily transformed. I mean like its pendant form changed.
I think that happened in the first episode. We just didn't see it.
Oh, okay. All right.
What we've discovered, I believe, is that the pendant is the baby turtle legendary. They're one and the same.
Terrapagos.
Well, not Terrapagos, because Terrapagos is either just related to it or the evolution of this baby turtle. Because Terrapagos looks completely different. Unless you're saying then Terrapagos is just a form of this turtle. That could be, I guess.
Maybe it is.
I bet its name is Terrapendant. Like terrapin and pendant.
Ooh, write that down, Geese. Here,
yeah,
put that
good
up
idea.
somewhere. Put that because how many
Make
days
sure
do we...
make sure for this episode you tag Game Freak. So
no, you need to post that somewhere so that way if that's the actual name, people know the timestamp, the date it happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I asked Taylor, who is this guy? Is he from Amaranth's gang?
They talked about him in previous episodes. That's Lucius. He's the head villain.
Oh,
Lucius.
No,
Lucius
that's
is
the guy from the
ancient
story.
adventurer.
Yeah. Then never mind. I rescind my comment. Well, that's definitely the guy that they were talking about. That's definitely the head boss.
Yeah, because I wrote it down because it was such an outlandish name.
But he has an Umbreon, and that's all we need to know.
Which is very sick.
And he's talking about, I have a good. This is what the green-haired villain with the camera says. Oh, I got a good glimpse of your capabilities, Liko.
Yeah, I got you right where I want you kids.
Yeah.
And
then
I'm villain in here.
then we cut to the hotel from Puppet Master, the famous Bodega Bay Inn, where we see Fritos and Captain Pikachu researching in a library.
They're at a library.
That is why I said they're researching in a library.
You can see me in the background. I'm the little librarian with the sunflower.
Oh, sunflower. But yeah, adorable. There's a cute sunkern and hoppet plant holder. Frito's upset. He's not getting anywhere. He can't find anything in these dumb books. So he starts a yelling. And then Clambos, a mysterious woman with a yellow plumage squawkabilly, tells him to be quiet in the
Not
library.
a real name. That's not the Pokemon's name. It's not yellow plumage squawkabilly.
Well, it's squawkabilly, but there's different plumages of squawkabilly. This happens to be a yellow plumage squawkabilly.
That is the only Pokemon name I have ever heard that sounds like a plausible name for an animal.
A squawkabilly?
A yellow plumage squawkabilly. Sounds like something you would see in a bird book.
Well, it's like me saying Galarian Whooper. I mean, Paldean Whooper. So this woman is Luca. Geese, mystery solved. Remember us all asking who's Luca? Oh.
She was a character from Chrono Trigger the whole time.
And I have written down here, oh, sorry, Geese, she's married. Got him.
Well, yeah, it's because it's her.
No.
Well, I got that immediately because
you did not.
Let's hold off the spoilers. Cutting that out. Let's make it a big surprise.
I wonder who she is.
Her husband.
Plus, you said my husband told me that you went off to Bulltown, and we know that.
Do you think?
Let's keep it a surprise with the Clambos.
This mysterious woman has a history with Fritos.
Chili cheese Fritos. Her husband told her that Fritos went to Artizone.
Artizone sounds like an art camp for kids.
Frito's like, why haven't you been answering my calls or texts?
She said something about her mom has COVID or something.
She said that with my mother and all, I thought contact would be risky.
The grandma's immunocompromised or something. Squawkabilly just keeps repeating risky over and over again really loudly. So now they're going to go for a quote-unquote walk, Geese. We cut to Liko. Finally, somebody's giving Roy some books. Geese, what is this book that Roy gets?
It's the story that his grandpa told him about the ancient adventurer.
And what's it named? The Ancient Adventurer.
Lucius.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Fritos and Luca discussing how Fritos doesn't look like a professor. Clambos. Did Fritos give up the life of a professor? Is this the theme of this show? We got an ex-professor and an ex-Nurse Joy. Are you kidding me? Are all the Rising Bull Tacklers professions that we know of in the Pokemon world, now they're giving them up to become a band of Pokemon?
I want to know what.
Why can't I reveal when the episode reveals?
I thought it already did.
Not yet. God, we're so close, guys. We're so close to the reveal.
Call us Clambo.
Because I'm telling the story chronologically, right? So that reveal hasn't happened.
Oh,
listener.
Because I thought they had revealed it when he got the book. I didn't know there was a. Okay.
You're gonna know when it happens because I'm gonna say it.
Okay. All right. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. And Geese.
And Geese.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're muting ourselves until Michael gets through to the part where you and I both want to talk, and then you and I can talk over each other, and I'll interrupt myself and go, "Yes, Geese." It'll be great.
There's a conversation between Fritos and Luca about the adventurer. We learn his name is Lucius at this point. He's not a villain. 100 years ago, Clambos. Oh my God, 100 years ago. Is this going to be like Legends Arceus? Or maybe this is about the ruinous legends? Are we going to talk about Wo Chien, Chien Pao, Ting Lu, and Chi Yu? Who are these 6 heroes in this book, Clambos? We keep cutting between the kids, Liko and Roy, and Fritos and Luca to tell this story. And Clambos, it's the sickest art you've ever seen. We've got this cool blonde dude with all these what looks like legendary Pokemon. Look, I would say, pretty good at identifying a Pokemon. This book is so stylized that it's almost impossible. I mean, we see the shiny Rayquaza.
It is cool the way it's illustrated because they obviously want to keep the identities of the other Pokemon a secret so they don't spoil it, which is cool.
It's very sick that we know. I like that we added some credibility to Liko's father, because I was like, how do you get so much influence and money just by drawing art books? And I see why. Very sick. And when we find out later in the episode that, I'm joking. That was a big old joke.
So we see the shiny Rayquaza. We know that one. That one's very clear. Arboliva, we can put 2 and 2 together. Arboliva went into that ancient Pokeball. And one of those Pokemon does kind of look like Arboliva. Also looks like a Tyranitar, but we can assume that it's an Arboliva in this book. One of them kind of looks like Moltres. And then I was thinking, wait, are these the Galarian birds? Legendary birds? Galarian Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres?
I do hear that Moltres is very good at picnics.
He is. and then one of them, Clambos.
That laugh.
That was such a soft laugh. I wonder if it's going to be picked up. One of them looks like a Lapras. An Arcanine.
One of them looks like a big bird.
Yeah, that's probably Moltres. Arcanine, maybe? Clambos, write it down. I'm going to publish this. Hopefully we don't find out the answers until after it's uploaded, and then we can see if I was right.
If they don't call that little turtle guy Terra Pendant, I'm going to riot.
Clambos, I don't know the rock one. The closest thing I could think is maybe it kind of looks like an Oricorio a little bit.
I was thinking that too, Oricorio. I know that Pokemon.
I love Oricorio. It's a little bird, and he has different styles depending on, modeled on different dances. So there's a cheerleader one, a flamenco dancing one. And another one that I don't remember.
Anyway, in the storybook, all these Pokemon, the 6 heroes and the Ancient Adventurer, found a paradise. And the Ancient Adventurer has a sick hat.
Such a Final Fantasy plotline.
Frito, we come back to Frito. He tells Luca about the pendant and the turtle. And now, Geese and Taylor, it's your time to shine. What is Clambo's for backstory? I've edited out them spoiling this 15 times by this point. What is now revealed at this scene? Both of you together. Let's hear it. Biggest reveal of the show so far.
Frito's used to be a professor.
Yes, Geese?
So sick.
It's Liko's mom, and she's being very coy about the information she knows about this pendant. Did you guys pick up on that as well?
We're talking about Luca, of course, right? The mysterious woman with the yellow plume squawkabilly. The yellow plume squawkabilly, mind you, that we learn belongs to Grandma Liko, her mother.
I want to know what Grandma, what her name is, because then we would have Liko, Luca, Lucius, farther down the bloodline, because she's obviously related.
And Ash.
Yeah. Ash Lechem.
God, and now you correct me, Japanese scholars, if I'm wrong here, but I find it kind of interesting that when Luca, Liko's mom, discusses her mother, she uses the formal haha, which to me, it's funny that that's the most formal Keigo way of saying mother, because that seems like that would be the lowest, tiniest little kid way of saying mother, haha. Because it just seems silly. I mean, maybe that's just English informing my brain, but
I mean, they're super rich, right?
They're very rich, yeah.
So that formality would go in line. With
like mother said, I have to eat crumpets at 12 p.m.
Anyway, mom is like, I don't know much about the pendant. Sorry.
I want to play this plot line in a Pokemon. Talking about gathering the 6 heroes of the crystals and going to paradise. So sick.
And Geese, what does Squawkabilly keep repeating over and over again?
Galar, Old Castle.
I don't know if you two were laughing as much as I was during that scene, but that Squawkers just saying Galar Old Castle and flying off into the distance. It's just so funny to me. I was imagining Liko's mom, who's very sick, just saying like, oh, okay, I guess I don't have that Pokemon anymore.
I'm thinking to myself when he says Galar Old Castle and they put 2 and 2 together that's where Liko's grandma is in Galar in an old castle. I thought to myself, I was right. It's the Galarian legendary birds in that image, but we'll find out. And also, so now that jumping ahead a little bit here, that we're all going to decide to go to Galar and visit the old castle to find grandma. Turns out Taylor was right the whole time. Remember, we had a conversation. I said, well, normally it just takes place in the region that you're in. But Taylor was like, well, what, are they going to jump around to a new region every day? Looks like Taylor's right, because we've been to Kanto. We've been in Paldea for 45 minutes, and now we're going to Galar. Come on, geez, get together.
Yeah, it's a global journey.
Yeah.
Well, that's the benefit of having an airship.
Like any Final Fantasy cast will tell you.
We cut to Liko and Roy on the phone with Liko's dad. They're talking about, they're asking the dad, like, how'd you come up with this? And he's like, oh, I drew it from information your grandma told me about a story.
And we get the funniest line of the episode.
So they were lies?
So the book was all just lies.
And the dad says, well, that's a bit harsh. I'd call it fiction myself, not a book of lies. But I don't believe it, Clambos, because it's not just Liko that knows these stories. As we know, Roy's grandpa as well. Isn't that right, Geese?
Yes.
What if Liko and Roy are related?
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Here's what I have to say about this episode. It is such a turnaround. We went from absolutely nothing to absolutely everything happening. We got so many characters and reveals. Like I said at the top.
I had so many notes at the beginning, which were going to continue what I've said in, I think, every episode for at least 3 or 4 episodes of, I'll bet you're happy about this episode, Geese, to, oh, I'll bet you're happy about this episode, Geese.
Basically, at this point, it becomes beyond belief, fact or fiction over here. The kids are discussing, could this be real? Could this be a story?
Another
and
Star
they're also
Trek.
discussing
Poor Taylor.
what the vision meant.
Taylor, what were you saying?
Nothing important.
Something about Star Trek and
yeah, because you said beyond belief, fact or fiction.
Yeah, I can't look at him now because I know he always had a hurt back, so I'm always just feeling bad for the boy.
So does Tobey Maguire.
Why'd you have to ruin him for me too?
I'm sorry.
Roy and Liko decide, looks like they got a lot more adventuring to do. And Geese, what does the mom say to Fritos about seeing her only daughter?
I know. She's like, no, if I saw her, I would just want to be a parent and ask her all these questions. I'll just let her decide what she's going to do next.
I was laughing a lot at that. Like, oh, I can't be a good mother because I'd be too good of a mother.
She says, I want to let her decide her own future because that's the way I like to teach. And she says to Frito, didn't I tell you the same thing? So that we get the reveal that he was one of her students. And that's why.
Oh, yeah.
No, Geese, didn't I tell you the same thing is because he just repeated her.
No, he calls her Miss Luca because that's what he called her as a teacher. And
does he say Luca Sensei?
I don't know, but in the translated it says Miss Luca.
I can neither confirm or deny that he was a student, but I do remember the scene where Lucas says something, Frito repeats it verbatim, and then she says, you're just repeating me. And he says, haha, yeah. But yeah, so for complicated pendant reasons, she's not going to see her own daughter, which is ludicrous. Then we cut to the breakfast table. We're having a meeting with the Rising Volt Tacklers. It's up to Liko to decide what to do next. Ella Kid and Rockruff are looking adorable, Geese. And they all get together and come to the consensus. It's grandma time, Clambos. We're going to see the sick grandma
time.
It's grandma time. Tell your grandmas we're going to see her in the old castle in Galar.
Shout out to the grandmas.
And then we cut to a very, very suspicious Behem in a tree snooping. And I was asking earlier, how does evil green-haired man have so many cameras everywhere?
I thought you were going to say, how does evil exist?
How does evil? But I think what it is the Behem is using all its little gadgets on its, because LGM and BEM are a very interesting Pokemon. They're based off of sightings of UFOs, which is appropriate because of all the UFO talk in the news lately. But it's LGM, Little Green
what?
Men, and BEM, Bug-Eyed Monsters. Their names are based off of acronyms. But anyway, this is Behem. He looks like a little alien, and I guess he's sending video feeds to Evil Green Man. And we learn here that Evil Green Man was responsible for the magneton that turned off all the internet. And then Evil Green Man says, "Welp, looks like I have to kill Liko." And the episode ends.
He's got very fluffy hair.
Geese, the episode is over. Please tell us about Uncle Frito's professor seminar, and then we can discuss our feelings on the episode.
So today the Pokemon is Oliva or Arboliva. This Pokemon has many... What?
Clambos, today we are...
It's a sermon. It's my Pokemon
trying
sermon.
to... oh my God, that's hilarious. I never thought about that. That must be people like up there thinking, oh God, I got to fill 2 hours. All right. Clambos, brothers, sisters, children, gather around.
So the Pokemon has many olives on its long arms, and this is true, but what kind of nature does it have?
Your brain, what synapse fired to make you say a sentence, follow it with, this is true, comma, but? What is the link?
I've gone through the episode this long without having a breakdown. Do you want me to trigger it now?
No. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Initiate breakdown procedure.
No, don't. Cancel. Abort. Breakdown. Abort.
What kind of nature does it have? Is it A, savage, B, kind, or C, mean?
It's kind, of course. Arbolivo's a little sweetheart.
I was
Yes.
partially hoping it would be savage.
Mean is funny.
Because I don't understand it.
It may be scary if it gets angry, but normally it's a very kind and gentle Pokemon, and it's devoted to caring for its friends.
And we see a cute picture of an Arbolivo holding a million little small lives, and looks like Captain Pikachu's chasing after one of them. Very cute. Taylor and Geese, please tell me, after watching the entire episode, how you feel about this episode compared to the other Horizons episodes.
I like this one. I liked how there were a lot of characters that were involved from the squad. It made it felt more like an ensemble character show, I guess. I liked the mysteries, and I liked how we didn't have to spend the entire episode growing the forest.
This was a post-filler episode. So the other episodes really feel like nothing happens now because somebody clearly said, okay, you're good to start the plot. You can start the show now. You don't need to talk to Liko's dad about parenting, Frito's about parenting, Uncle Kitchen about parenting. We can just go into the plot.
It's the strangest setup. It's the strangest setup I've ever seen for laying out an episode. Because you just follow up last episode with the forest subplot for no reason to me. Because when I was taking notes and we're in the forest segment, I got like a few lines into my notes and I thought, man, this is going to be the smallest note taking I've ever done. And then by the end of the episode, I'm actually out of space. Better to put the first half of this episode in last week's episode. You can end that on a way cooler cliffhanger because last week's cliffhanger was just nothing. Why don't you do a cliffhanger of the pendant coming alive? And then you get this cool episode. That would make sense. Very
That's a
strange.
good point.
That's
Very
why
strange.
I think somebody got a phone call while they were producing the episode, and they were like, "Oh no, it's okay."
Hey, Clambos, there was a bit of something because my research may not be accurate, but what I've heard is basically with the Pokemon anime, it never misses a week. They just always have a new one. But recently, a couple weeks ago, they did take a break of a few weeks. And I thought, oh my God, are we going to catch up? That could be bad, could be good. But they're back to uploading. They're back to airing them. I'm sure they upload them somewhere too. They're back to airing the episodes every week. But yeah, so odd. I've never seen it. Just bad episode. Oh, interesting episode. But
It just
man,
felt like two different episodes.
you Clambos know what's gonna get me. It's you introduce new Pokemon and you give me interesting lore, not lure, that I can't get in other media. That's all I'm looking for.
That book was really sick. I was kind of laughing because I was just sitting there thinking this must be so sick and such a big deal. But for a very casual viewer like me, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, another Pokemon.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it's not a big deal to anybody because that Pokemon doesn't exist yet in the games or anything. We don't know who that is. It's a mystery.
I feel like that would make it a huge deal.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. I see. Because to you, every Pokemon is, ooh, who's that? All right. So, yeah, bad then good is my review of the episode. Geese, please take us into the wrap-up. You can't do that because you don't have a pop filter.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please follow us on social media at Look, Listen, Cast on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can find him on twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shouts out to Aaron for the Star Trek knowledge and and Taylor.
Boilerplate.
You can watch his stuff at twitch.tv/prof_ticklebits. Thank you to our supporters. You can support us by going to looklistencast.com and clicking the link for Spotify for podcasters and or anchor.fm. Thank you so much. Taylor, who should you recommend this podcast to? Molly Shannon, that's right. Are you muted, Taylor?
Whose business of it is yours? Yes, I did. I was. Recommend this to the whole family, but mostly to grandmothers.
It is Grandma Day.
Happy Grandma Day.
And nephews and nieces. This week's question comes from Triforce Vigor. She asks, what do you think goes through a Pokemon's head when they're getting caught in a Pokeball? Geese, please, your answer.
I think it's the AMC trailer that they play before.
I could never have. You could have offered me all the money in the world, and I wouldn't have guessed that was coming out of your mouth.
The Nicole Kidman thing?
Yeah, when Nicole Kidman is watching it, and you see the projector around her head, and she's like, "What is it? What'd she say?"
Yeah, what'd she say? What'd she say? Taylor, what is it like for a Pokemon?
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. What'd she say?
What'd she say?
Probably what's going on.
What'd she say?
I would imagine it's a great sense of relief given how much consent is involved now. So there's the Pokemon has so much sovereignty over who it's partnered with that I think it's probably just excitement.
So in the anime, yeah, the protagonist often now asks a Pokemon if they want to be their trainer, but I think you can still just go out and catch a Pokemon. I know I sure do in the games, but it's supposed to be super comfortable. So I would say slight confusion and then relief of, ooh, this looks comfortable. But still, there's plenty of wild Pokemon that try to get out of the Pokeball. So I think
not anymore.
Yes, in real life, just not in the anime.
Oh, in real life. Okay.
Yeah, in real life. Real life Pokemon. So it completely depends on the Pokemon. If it's a Pokemon that wants to get caught, probably relief and comfort. And if it doesn't want to get caught, probably still comfortable. It's like a pampered indoor cat that keeps trying to run out the door every time you open the door and eat grass or something. So that's what a Pokemon popping out is like. They probably feel, I want to get out of here, even though it is very nice and comfortable. And that is my answer to the question. Thank you very much, Triforce Vigor.
Good question.
Thank you.
Taylor and Geese, anything before we say goodbye? 3 times this week. We're going to say it 3 times.
I'm very much looking forward to the show now. I mean, I already was, but they were losing steam a little bit, and it's very exciting that there's so much of an adventure to look into. Very.
Geese Peeps, closing comments.
I liked it, and I look forward to meeting Grandma.
Wonder what her name's gonna be. Something with an L.
Closing comments doesn't have to be about the show, but
Maybe it's gonna be Lulu.
yeah, it's probably Lulu. All right, goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening. Everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well,
Goodbye.
probably has to say.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Toodles.
Oh.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Peep. Thank you for listening to the Geese Peep Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.